There is someone in your life right now who every time you walk away from them leaves you feeling exhausted, hollow, and somehow smaller than when you arrived. You cannot always explain it. You just know that something is being taken from you, and you have been letting it happen for longer than you want to admit. By the end of this video, you will have a clear, practical system to identify these people, understand exactly what they are doing to you, and take back the energy that is rightfully yours. But first, you need to understand why most people never solve this problem, and it has nothing to do with the other person. The real struggle here is not about difficult personalities or toxic behavior. The deeper one is this. You are tough that being a good person means being endlessly available. That saying no makes you selfish. That your discomfort is a small price to pay for keeping the peace. So you smile, you pick up the phone, you sit through the conversation, and every single time a piece of you quietly disappears. But this is not a weakness. This is a pattern that was installed in you without your permission. And today, that pattern ends. Let's start with recognition, because you cannot protect what you cannot see. Energy draining people, often called emotional vampires, do not always look like villains. Some of them are charming, some of them are family, some of them genuinely believe they need you. What they all share is a consistent, predictable dynamic. Every interaction revolves around them, their problems, their drama, their needs, and your role is always the same: to absorb, validate, and carry what they refuse to carry themselves. You leave the conversation drained. They leave feeling relieved. That asymmetry is the signature. But there are four primary types you will encounter. The constant victim, who is permanently stuck in a crisis they never intend to solve. The chronic critic, who disguises their insecurity as concern for your choices. The emotional hostage taker, who uses guilt as currency to keep you close. And the energy leech, who simply consumes your attention, your time, your emotional bandwidth without ever giving anything back. The moment you can name which type you are dealing with, something extraordinary happens inside you. The fog lifts. But here's the part most people skip entirely, and it is the reason all the advice about setting limits never seems to work long term. You are not just dealing with another person's behavior, you are dealing with your own nervous system's response to that behavior. Research in interpersonal neurobiology shows that we unconsciously mirror the emotional states of people around us. When you spend time with someone in a chronic state of anxiety, resentment, or helplessness, your brain begins to co-regulate with theirs, meaning their emotional chaos literally becomes your emotional experience. This is not a metaphor. This is physiology. And once you understand that, the urgency of protecting your energy stops feeling selfish and starts feeling like survival. So, what do you actually do? The first and most powerful tool is what we can tell the energy audit. For 1 week, after every significant interaction with the people in your life, take 30 seconds to answer one question honestly. Do I feel more alive or less alive right now? Not whether the person is good or bad, not whether they mean well. Simply, what did this interaction do to my energy? Write it down. What you will discover in 7 days will change how you structure your relationships permanently. So, the second tool is the response delay. Energy draining people are almost universally skilled at creating urgency where none exists. They manufacture emergencies. They escalate to pull you in faster. The antidote is simply but profoundly uncomfortable at first. You wait before responding, not hours, and sometimes just minutes. That pause breaks the automatic pattern of rescue and creates a space for you to choose your response rather than react from guilt. That pause is where your power lives. Now, we arrive at the piece that nobody talks about, and it may be the most important thing in this entire video. The third tool is graduated distance, and it requires you to abandon the false choice between total rejection and total availability. Most people stay trapped because they believe the only options are cutting someone off completely or continuing to suffer. But there is a spectrum between those two extremes. You can reduce frequency of contact, you can shorten the duration of interactions, you can change the format, a text instead of a call instead of an in-person meeting. You are not abandoning anyone, you are restructuring access. And that restructuring is something you are fully entitled to do without explanation, without guilt, and without drama. The fourth tool is what we call the redirect and release. When a draining person pulls you into their cycle, the endless complaint, the repeated crisis, the guilt spiral, you do not argue, you do not fix, and you do not explain yourself at length. You redirect. I hear that you're going through something hard. I'm not in a position to give this attention it deserves right now. And then you realize, meaning you do not chase the conversation back. You let the silence exist. Most emotional vampires are fueled by your engagement. When the engagement stops, the dynamic changes. But there is something deeper underneath all of this that we need to say directly. The reason this is so hard is that somewhere inside you, you believe your value to others depends on how much you give. That if you pull back, people will leave. That your love is only worth something when it costs you something. And that belief, that deeply embedded, quietly devastating belief, is the truth source of your exhaustion. Not draining people, they are simply the mirror. The work is not just about managing difficult relationships, it is about rewriting the internal contract you signed without knowing it. The one that made your energy, your time, and your peace negotiable. So here is where we close the loop open at the beginning of this video. The reason most people never solve this problem is not because they lack information. It is because they are unconsciously attached to the role of the one who gives. Change it that requires more than tactics. It requires a decision, a real, private, non-negotiable decision. That your energy is not a resource available to anyone who demands it. It is yours. It funds your ambitions, your relationships, your health, and your capacity to actually show up for the people who deserve you. So identify who drains you. Audit your energy without apologize. Delay your response. Create graduated distance. Redirect and release. And above everything else, stop treating your peace as something others need to approve before you can protect it. Your energy is the most valuable currency you own. Spend it like you know that.